Okay, from Kenya, let's take you across the Atlantic to the United States as we continue our coverage of Queen Elizabeth II's death. The US President Joe Biden, among the first to send his condolences to the people of England. Let's get some more reaction now from Washington. Our correspondent Chris Jones is joining us. Chris, good afternoon, South African time. Thank you for joining us on today here on eNCA in Johannesburg. What has the reaction been like since the announcement that Queen Elizabeth II has died?
Yeah, well, this is an incident that has really gripped the world, isn't it? We've seen those pictures coming from the UK of people crowding outside Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, Edinburgh Castle, but we've also seen tributes from across the sea in the US too. You mentioned there, Joe Biden has been leading those tributes. President Joe Biden, and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, released a statement over the past 24 hours in which they said, in a world of constant change, she was a steadying presence and a source of comfort and pride for many Britons. They then go on to say that she was really relatable to a lot of people across the world and really revered by a lot of the American people here. We've also heard more from the White House. We heard from Vice President Kamala Harris. She said in a statement that Queen Elizabeth II lived an incredible life of service and had a profound impact on countless lives and historic events. Remember, she was on the throne for 70 years, and within that time she met 13 of the 14 presidents, beginning with President Truman in 1951. So she's been in the minds of American people for a really, really long time and endured a good relationship with the White House. And that's why we're seeing these tributes that have been led over the past 24 hours and will continue to be read out in the next few days to come as well.
Yeah, I've just been speaking to a history professor here in South Africa about the Queen's legacy as far as relations with South Africa concerned and Africa. As we know, Britain was a colonizer of many countries on the continent, the likes of South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria and others. In America, what kind of legacy do you think will stand out as people are now sort of coming to grips with the fact she's no more and there's now going to be King Charles III on the throne?
Yeah, well, I think the legacy that she's left is, on the whole, a good one, especially when it comes to how the American people perceived her. I spoke to Anita McBride yesterday. She's the former chief of staff for the former First Lady Laura Bush, and she was present when the Queen came in 1991 and 2007 as well. And she said that the Queen really did all she could to connect with real people. She visited supermarkets, she visited public parks. She really did all she could to speak to normal people. And I think that is really the legacy that she's going to leave behind, especially when it comes to the minds of Americans, that she was a leader who was democratic and cared about her people. So I think the legacy that she's going to leave is, on the whole, a positive one. When it comes to Prince Charles, well, King Charles, sorry, he has met 10 presidents since over the past few decades. So he does have a relationship with the US, but now that Queen Elizabeth II has sadly passed away, new ties will need to be forged, and how they materialise, well, we'll have to wait to see in the future, really.
Yes. Do you think President Biden will attend the funeral?
Well, there's certainly a lot in the US at the moment to keep his eye on. He's in Ohio at the minute at a semiconductor factory. There's obviously a chip shortage coming from China, so the US is really doing all it can to rebuild its manufacturing capabilities. Whether he will go to England to attend the funeral, he's not announced that as far as I can see so far, but it wouldn't be a huge surprise if he did, with so many world leaders also looking to attend.
Yeah, or maybe the Vice President, Kamala Harris. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much, Chris Jones, for your time. He's our correspondent, of course, in Washington. We're just getting a sense from the US how the people there are reacting, and government as well reacting to the death of Queen Elizabeth II. There's more